that similar to, oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Similar
Just keep
to,
rolling.
yeah, similar to what Hart used to do. And I know he has a team now and they're phenomenal. I love what Aleem and Phil bring to that show. The
Hmm.
energy, kind of the intelligence behind, you can tell they've been doing it, right? But there was something special about the way Hart used to do it individually. I know it was harder. Immediately becomes easier when we can bounce ideas off each other, right? But putting that together was really cool. Do you know he was my first coach?
Hart was? Really?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm a quick story, and then we'll get into kind of the
Yeah.
meat and potatoes of what you want to get into. I was really just starting to change my training philosophy at that time. About 38 years old, 39 years old. And everything that primarily that I had done up until 35, 36 was free weight based
Hmm.
or body weight based. And what I started to realize was a lot of guys that I had started finding on YouTube, the Chris Bumsteads of the world, they, I wanted that look,
Right.
but they were doing everything different than I was doing, right?
Mhm.
I didn't understand much about, enhancements or anything like that, but I could look at the training and say, that's a machine, that's a machine. That is actually the Smith machine, which I've made fun of my whole life, you know? And I was like, huh. So I started transitioning into some more machine training, really liked it. And then I was like, wait, I think I want to try this. And my wife was like, try what? I was like, bodybuilding. She's like, you're 30, 39 years old. So yeah, I know. I was like, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. And she was like, most people at this time in their life, they buy a convertible or,
Right.
they go spend too much money on this. She was like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, I think I can do it. And I had started watching the Hart show. And
Hmm.
on his show at that time, he's always promoting his coaching and stuff. And so I was like, I think I'm gonna hire this guy as my coach and go do it. And I'm gonna do it naturally. Right? So he brought me, well, real quick. I reached out to him. I had leaned up and I thought I was strong and all this stuff. And I sent him an inquiry and he said, okay, I think we can grow you a little bit and then get you into some men's physique stuff. And there's nothing like telling a guy who thought he had really put on some weight and like really done something that you could grow him into the division, right? So I was like, nah, man, I'll grow myself. I went from 220 to 250, pretty lean, pretty lean back then. And when I came back to him, he was like, we can get started. And then he coached me, and I think I'm his only overall win, or like
Really?
one of the, yeah, overall win, Kentucky Cup 2024.
That's dope. Well, hey, let me bring us in really quick
Yeah, go ahead.
because
Sorry.
oh, this is
Sorry.
all good information, and that's going to lead right into where we're going to start. So, all right, what's going on, everybody? I am Devin Grogan's IFBB Pro, and we are bringing back the segment. You guys have been with us with Beyond the Bar. We're bringing back the segment, The Last Rep. And the last rep is where I'm doing one-on-one interviews with people in the league, around the league, whether they're competitors, bodybuilders, some sort of tie to what it is we do, and just really diving in and talking about life, talking about the stage and everything else in between. So I am here today with my guy, Justin Kitchen,
Let's go.
fellow and new IFBB Pro.
Get
He's going
it.
to tell us a little bit about his story on you guys already heard some of it, but his way from starting out at what, 38, you said?
Yeah, 30.
38 years old, decided he was going to bodybuild. Fast forward, now an IFBB pro. We met in 2024 at Pittsburgh, where
That's
he
right.
just barely missed his card. I got mine at that show, and I knew when I met you And I think I even told you, I said, bro, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when for you.
You did. You
You
did.
told us a little bit about your story, but keep going with that. So Hart McGrath was your very first coach. You started out at 38 years old. Just kind of got into training. Keep us rolling. Like lead
Right.
us up from getting your first overall win with Hart McGrath to where you're at now in as an
Yeah.
IFBB pro.
All right. So, real quick, first, thank you so much for having me on the show. You put time, energy, effort, all of that into building this and inviting me on it. It means a lot to me. I want to say thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, real quick, going back to 2024, I had the opportunity to meet you, and I remember asking you to help me take a picture back there. I was like, "Yo, help me get a couple pictures," and then you hit your front pose, and I was like, "Well, I think this is what it's supposed to look like." And when you came back in, I remember you said, "I was like, yo, how'd you do? How'd you do?" And you're like, "I'm holding center," and I remember you and two other guys that were there that told me they were holding center, and I was like, I want that. In 2024, I want that. Now that's last year.
Oh, this
That's
is
20,
last year.
yeah, that's 2025.
Okay, let's go back.
It's down there somewhere. Yeah, so thank you for being an inspiration to what.
Is it this right here? Is
Yeah,
this
so it's the one on the right. So those are both my shows for 2024. So both of those are me as a natural competitor, competing in the NPC. And what I was trying to show here is some of the improvements that I was able to make between an April show and an August show. And on the left, Hart was coaching me completely. And I've been a personal trainer, fitness director, built programs for people, built programs for companies, like all that stuff. So after he coached me, he was really big into the YouTube stuff, really growing and really trying to find himself in life also. So I kind of took over my own coaching and was able to make some improvements before North Americans. Now, one thing that you will learn if you are an up and coming competitor, a regional show versus a national show is a little bit different. Uh, just a little bit different. Let's just say we'll say it like that. It's a little bit different. There were some dogs in my class in 2024. It was one of the more humbling experiences for me. You were very kind in how you said, "I just missed my card." And I think what happened was we got closer in 2025,
Mhm.
more so than we actually did in 2024. In 2025, I just missed it. But in 2024, I got dog walked, bro.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, it was 20, it was 25. I remember one year you were real close, and I couldn't remember
Like,
if that was that same year or another year.
yeah. So 2024, it was this weird situation where I got called out in the first call, but in that national show, they only took five.
Hmm.
The first call out in the prejudging, they took six to compare 5 and 6 to see who was going to get it. So I'm
Hmm.
telling everybody after prejudging, I'm in the first call out. I'm in the first call out. When I got back, they were like, "All right, all of those who didn't get in the first call out, Justin Kitchen and blah blah." I'm like, "No, no, 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 I'm in the first call. Like that's me. Like I've never not been." So it was really humbling, man. It was really humbling. Um, so Hart and I decided we were just going to be friends from that point forward, and we've been cool ever since. And obviously, he's continued to blow up from a social media standpoint and just his knowledge in the division. But at that point, I realized it might be time to, I'm 40. It might be time to. I've kind of built this naturally as far as it's going to go. And
Hmm.
if I want to continue to compete, which I caught the bug completely, right? Being on stage, the prep, all of that, I loved it. I was like, if I'm going to compete, I might need a little help. And that's when I found my coach now, Austin Brown, just just a great dude, really knows his stuff, and has helped me grow my physique incredibly. So
Now, real
that's kind
quick,
of the,
something I want to touch on because I don't
yeah.
want people to get it twisted. It's not like you were just a personal trainer that decided to compete. You played football for a nationally recognized school, did you not?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, let's
I didn't
let's
even
touch
know we
on
were
that
going
real
there. I
quick
didn't know we
because
were going there.
the athleticism is there. It's not like you just jumped off the couch and decided you were going to pick up a weight. And the only
That,
reason I say that is because as a coach myself,
yeah.
all the time I get people that have never competed before and hardly even played sports, and they'll say, I want to turn pro. And they expect to do
Hmm,
it in like a year or two.
hmm,
And it
okay.
always
Okay.
boggles my mind. The two things that always boggle my mind are one, when people say that they want to turn pro in a very short timeline. I mean,
Okay.
we're talking like never competed, maybe did sports, maybe, and they're like, "Oh, I want to turn pro in the next year or two." How many people? That's like saying I've never played basketball, but I want to go to the YMCA, and then I'm gonna go play with LeBron James a year later. Like, good luck.
There.
The second, the second one, real quick, that
Yeah.
always gets me is when people say that, oh, I want to train, but I don't want to get too big. Look, I've been doing this for a decade and I'm still
Mhm.
trying to get too big. That's like saying I want to learn how to drive a car, but I don't want to become a NASCAR driver. Like, let's pump the brakes.
Exactly. So let's go back to the first one, right?
Yes. Hold
Um,
on, real quick. College football. Where did you play? Let's
let's go
touch
back
on
to the
that.
first one.
I know,
I
yes.
played, I was fortunate enough to get a full scholarship to Duke University to play outside linebacker and defensive end there from 2002 to 2006. The competitive aspect of that part of my life from seventh grade all the way through college of playing football, playing competitive sports is a big part of what drove me into bodybuilding to begin with.
Hmm.
It's one of those things that you don't realize you're going to struggle with coming out of college. You
Yep.
know, you're either relieved to be done, which at that point I was. My body was just so beat up from just the physicality of the game, playing for so long and all that stuff. Really beat up and just a little burnt out. So, but time passes, and I don't know what it is about human nature, but I don't think we remember pain correctly. I don't think we remember how bad that hurt or whatever. Like, think about it. If women really remember that, they would only have one baby, right? They'd be done. They'd be done, right? They'd be out. We'd only have one kid, right? So, um, once that starts to go away, you start to miss the camaraderie of the game, the competitiveness. And I think that was a big part of me getting into bodybuilding.
Hmm.
So kind of segue into that. I didn't do so even with that history you discussed, and thank you for highlighting me like that. Got me feeling good about myself in here. Even with that history, my first show, I just went in there thinking I just want to do well.
Hmm.
Like there was no, I'm gonna go do this show, I'm gonna turn pro. But I think the thought process behind that is anytime you hear the word professional, there's nowhere where they just give that out. No
Right.
one hands in anything. So my understanding was like if I want to be a professional piano player, it's probably going to take me a lot of time, right? If I want to be a professional anything, it's going to take me a lot of time. And I think a lot of people miss that aspect. They think, oh, it's just bodybuilding, it's just lifting. I look pretty good in my local gym. I'm gonna show up at a show, I'm gonna win that. Like so many people say that to me. I'm
Hmm.
never gonna say no, you're not, because it's not my job to tear people's dreams down. I just say I hope you're working hard. I hope you're
Right.
working extremely hard because there's a difference between looking really good in your gym and looking really good at a show where everybody's an absolute dog.
Right. And even at the professional level, a lot of times, leading up to a show, because I know part of what you do is highlight different athletes and shows and things like
Absolutely.
that on your page. And a lot of times we'll see athletes standing in the gym or taking photos in the gym or videos, and they look incredible. But then you put them next to three other people that look just as good or slightly better, and it completely changes the dynamic of their
Changes.
physiques.
It changes. Yep. Like, um, what does Andre Ferguson always say? He said, matchups make good fights.
Absolutely.
So if I know you work out at home a lot, but I'm sure there is also a gym that you can go to, or like if
I
you
do
choose.
both. So
Okay.
I have a gym at home.
Hmm.
When I work at home, usually I'll just train at home. The other gym that I typically go to is only 15 minutes away, but it's right down the
Perfect.
street from my main office. And I would
Yeah.
say I'm there more often than I'm at my home gym. My wife
Okay, cool.
utilizes the home gym a lot, but
Cool, cool. Yeah, that would be the reason that we would build a home gym so my wife could use it actually more.
yeah.
But when you go in to that gym because of what you've been able to achieve physically, you're probably going to draw attention. You're probably going to look a different way in your workout attire than
Hmm.
everybody else, and it's going to be one of, if not by far the best physiques in the gym. And I'm not talking bad about anybody else, but when you get to the point of having those four letters in front of your name, that means some really intense, strict judges gave you that title.
Right.
So I don't think people really understand the difference between how that looks in the mirror with the goon lighting and the perfect angles and all that stuff to when you go stand on stage by somebody, like what your strengths are, they'll show. But if you have weaknesses compared to that person standing next to you, it's gonna be a long day. That 3 minutes of comparison is gonna feel real long when they start moving you out further and further and further away from the
I
center.
told one of my clients that earlier this season. She had said that she wanted to turn pro. And I said, let's just focus. This was her first year competing, and she did very well and she looked good. But I said, you still have a long road ahead of you, and you have two options. You have option A, which is become a pro as fast as you can and then never be competitive again. Because a lot of times, once you get that pro card for a lot of people, that's the last time you ever win a show. I
Bro,
said, option B is you
I've
take
already
your time.
dealt with, oh, I'm sorry, I've already dealt with the fact that there's a potential. There's a potential. I hope it's not, but there's a potential that I've won my last show.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize that. And option B, I told her, is you build a physique that can compete at the professional level and then turn pro. Then I
Right.
sent her a picture of Laura Lee and I said, could you stand next to her and compete? Not beat her, but could
Yeah.
you compete? And when I sent her that picture, she said, oh, damn. I said, until your response is yes and not,
Yeah.
oh, damn, we
Yeah.
got work to do.
Yeah, bro, you you went straight for the jugular. I'm more of an encourager, like, all right, bet, then we got to get to work.
I encourage, but
No,
I
I'm
also want to be real. I'm
yeah,
not the coach that's going to inflate people. I want to
100%.
let you know, I'm not telling you you can't do it. I'm just telling you, be prepared that if you turn pro, these are the people you're going to stand next to. And if your
Absolutely.
thought is, oh, damn, we're not ready yet.
Yeah,
And I know because I've been there. I remember when I
right.
did USA's and I missed my pro card by one. I got third out of 23 people. I remember being backstage and looking around and thinking, damn, there's a lot of really good talent here. And then I got
Yeah.
third. At Pittsburgh, I remember standing back there and it wasn't cockiness. It was more preparedness and just a sense of, I know I look my absolute best. And it's going to come down to the judges simply deciding that they like person A over me
Yeah.
for whatever reason. It wouldn't be, I'm taking third or fourth. There was never a doubt in my mind. When I went to Pittsburgh, I knew I was getting my card. I felt confident standing
I
backstage
love it. I
and it
love
was
it.
just it was a different mindset, and that was the pro mindset. Then when I stepped on stage, I remember I stepped on stage. My pro debut was April 24th. I was going up against George Brown this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I watched. I
Yeah.
watched.
And I'm standing backstage, and not one time did I think George Brown is going to wax me. And the funny thing is, he was super cool. We were chopping it up. It was
Yeah.
handshakes and all that. And then they started to compare us when we got on stage, and then they moved us. And then I switched with him to center stage. When I came back for finals, he didn't say a word to me
Nah,
backstage.
your competition now.
And I told
Your
my friend that was
competition.
there at the time, helping me with posing, my buddy Miles. I
Yeah.
said, George sees me as a threat now, and that is enough.
Yeah.
That's
Your
just as good as a
competition.
win for me. For somebody that's been in the game as long as George to see me as a threat, I'll take that all day out of the week.
100%. 100%.
And to take second at at my first pro show, that was gas on the fire. So now I am lit. I'm 10 weeks out from Battle of the Bodies and 11 weeks out from Sasquatch Pro, and I
Let's
cannot
go.
wait to stand next to Ricardo Sinet. Like I absolutely cannot.
Bro, I'm actually a fan of his.
I am
I think
too.
he was supposed to compete in a show
St.
a
Pete,
week
he
ago, and
missed the
I
cap.
got it. Got it.
He
Got it.
missed the cap. He thought he was 5'10". I guess he's like 5'9". So it was like a seven, or he was top of the cap for what would have been 5'10". So it was like a 7 or 8 pound difference he was gonna have to
Bro,
cut.
I promise you, there's something different about how they're measuring people this year. I've been 6'3" and 3/4 my entire, like, since I was 18 years old. I've
Hmm.
never not measured that. Like at the doctor's office, I've never not measured that. This year, for some reason, 6'3 1/4, 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Now you could say you lost. It's the leanest I've gotten in a long time. So you could say I lost fat on my feet, whatever. But if these guys are playing it close to the cap, just be ready to be maybe shorter than you thought you were. But back to
Yep.
you. First of all, I love that story. What I love most about that story is being able to relate to walking in that back room
Hmm.
and knowing versus when you've walked in that back room and been like, oh boy, you know what I mean? Like, oh boy, oh boy. When I went backstage for USA's, my coach is not ever he's not 100% guy because anything can
Hmm.
happen. Like a
Yep.
judge might just not like your shorts that day, and like, and you be close to somebody else. He's not 100% guy, but he's a 96.7% guy. Like that's his high because anything
Yeah.
could happen in that 3%. When we went backstage, he looked at me, he was like 96.7, man. 96.7. Like when other competitors, coaches look at you and they're like, oh damn, and they start pumping up harder and stuff like that, you're like, let's get on stage right now. Let's get on stage right now. And I don't know if you've ever heard Ryan Terry's story about wanting an odd man call out at the Olympia.
Yeah.
And what he speaks about is like, I want an odd man call out. So I just know that I'm in the middle.
Hmm.
Bro, when I heard that, that's what I started manifesting. I want an odd man call out. I want an odd man call out. So I just know when I'm in the middle. Man, when 5'6" guys who got on the stage and they moved me right to the center and then moved me. I was like, all right, bet. Get your mind ready. Because junior USA's, you got to get in the overall. You got to get
Yep.
top three in the overall. And then we got to the overall real quick story. I thought there were 7 of us on stage. There was actually 6 of us on stage. If there's 7 of us on stage, there's one in the middle,
Hmm.
2 on the outside, then these two, right?
Hmm.
Which makes it 4 and 5. So you're in fourth place or fifth place. I thought I was in fourth place or fifth place. And I'm like, why aren't they moving me in? Why aren't they moving me in? The judge said all we had to do was come back tighter. We're tighter. Why aren't they moving me in? And you can even see in the video, I start looking down trying to count. And it's interesting that my feedback was after that. So when they announced my name as winning a pro card, my reaction of that fist pump and that look was the most genuine thing because I thought I lost. I thought I blew it. And I was like, how? That's when I really knew I thought I looked good because like, this is impossible. This is
Trying to find that
preposterous.
video.
It should be the first one. Um,
Is
it
it
should be the
pinned?
first one. It just looks like I'm pulling and then it switches over to when they call.
Hold on, let me pull that up real quick.
It should be the first one on my Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like I have a green undershirt on.
Is it
Right there, fourth from the left.
three? This one right here?
Yeah, that one. So they announce it.
Oh, okay.
Like that was like
Like, give me my card.
bro, I look at that video And when I hear, like when you hear the sound with it and I hear the announcement, like I get emotional about it, man. Because I don't think people who, back to your original point, I think people who say things like, I'm going to go to this show, I'm going to win, I'm going to qualify for nationals, and then I'm going to go to nationals and I'm going to win my pro card. I'm like, the amount of work you're going to have to put in to do that. Like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because it's easy to say it right now, but when the meals get hard, the training gets hard, the sleep gets hard, the just the basic conversation between person A and person B gets hard. Keeping
Mhm.
your eyes awake, like your eyes open gets hard. Thinking gets hard. Like I don't think they understand. I don't think they understand.
Absolutely. Let's talk real quick about what what changed in training. Obviously, you went from natural to not natural. We don't need to really get into what was, the amounts and this and that, but
Yeah.
outside of that, what changed from 24 to 25 and then from 25 to 26? Were there any big common denominators or specifics that you can say this really helped get me to where I needed to be?
So going from 24 to 25, um, I was right there at a first call out natural, right? When I looked at my physique versus the other guys' physiques there, I saw what the judges were saying in terms of my feedback. And I got caught in the trap of thinking just the enhancements will take me there. I'll just do everything the same and I'm going to come smoke all these guys.
Hmm.
Okay. So training, I've always loved training. I love being in the gym. I train hard, all that stuff. For some reason, I had done really well on the nutritional side of things the year before, but a lot of life things happened in 2025. And we'll come back to that because I feel like that's really important towards prep. And when I say a lot of life things, I mean a lot of things that weren't great. Um, relationally, job, as a father, just my own health, like so many things that you want to check as a good thing in prep, got the X just down the list, right? And as the pressure and the stress began to grow, the first thing I'll never forget it, man. I was sitting right in front of my pantry. And I don't know if you've ever done this before, but there's like that little temptation, like, I'm gonna eat something out of here that I'm not quite supposed to. And then typically, like 9 out of 10 times, when everything's going great, you just walk by it, or you're like, "There's no way I'm doing that. I can't afford to do that." Blah blah blah, and we go to bed, and we get. And I'll never forget. We just got my son back home from the emergency room. I was dealing with something where a doctor was like, "You might have to have surgery on this," and it he's a friend of mine. He was doing me a favor, bring me to the doc. He was like, and I'll be honest, it's not a good one. It's not a good surgery. Nothing life threatening or anything, but like the recovery is really bad. And
Right.
then um, my wife had just had, I'm not going to put her business out, but she also had a very serious scare with one of her legs. And I was just remember thinking, I have no control over anything that's happening in my life right now, but I can control this. I can control how uncomfortable this hunger is and how bad it is. And I just went crazy. That was night one. 5 nights later, I told my coach, I was like, we got an issue here, right? And I think at that time, he is such an embodiment of bodybuilding. Like I literally think my coach, there's nothing that could break him away from the sport of bodybuilding. Like
Hmm.
there's nothing that could get him completely off plan. The dude is just dialed. I don't it he's helped me a lot with that, but he's still on another level of that. So like I don't think he could understand what I was trying to tell him. I was like, I want to continue this prep, but I feel like my life is also kind of falling apart. And if you look at my physique on stage, even when you brought that picture up of me at Masters National, I don't even post those pictures. I didn't post my junior nationals pictures. I didn't post those because it reminds me of just not holding the standard I was supposed to hold. I can make the excuses, but if I was going to continue on with the prep, I should have been able to do the prep. If life had gotten that bad, I should have taken a step back from the prep. But it's just like anything else. You're like, I'm almost there. Maybe there's a puncher's chance, we can get on stage. I mean, with all of that, I got third at junior nationals. I got second and third at masters nationals. So we were close, but I remember thinking I would not have been satisfied with any of those pro cards. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
that's when it's not just about getting a card. It's about
Right.
bringing your absolute best to the
Yep.
stage. And that is what changed going into the next year. Life was good, family was good, healthy, getting sleep, and just falling back in love with bodybuilding again, training hard, being able to handle the cravings. I will be honest, there are some peptides out there. I can't say that word. There are some peppers out there that help. there's, there's some peppers out there that help, but yeah. So the difference between 2025 to 2026 was life was in a much better place.
Hmm.
Communication with my coach was in a much better place. My training was in a much better place. The enhancements or whatever pretty much were the same. We didn't change any protocols or anything like that. But you could look at my body changing. Oh, stress. Stress was way down,
Yeah.
way down, way down. So all those things that Coach DG is telling you matter with your preps, with your execution, they really do matter. You can look at my physique in those two pictures and tell something changed.
Yeah.
Something changed. And your boy, like when you can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
To kind of put it back on you. When you won your pro card,
Hmm.
was it a Masters pro card or was it in the Open?
So I got mine in masters.
Okay, okay, gotcha. For me, just to kind of redeem that 2025 year, I never spoke this out. I never told anybody except my coach and my wife. I really wanted to do it in an Open.
I did too.
I really wanted to do it in an Open, and I don't mean that. I just want to be careful how I say it because I'm not trying to like come at anybody like that. But 42 years old now. Um, it can almost like a year like 2025 can almost convince you that you don't really have it. Like you can't really like you didn't win Masters, you didn't win Open, all that stuff. You kind of failed up and down the street. I really wanted to do it in an Open, man. And the Junior USA's gave me that opportunity. And I wanted to do it there with a you win your class and you get it in the Open.
Hmm.
Um, so it was really rewarding. It was really redeeming for me for that previous year, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I think for
Yeah.
me, the biggest thing, because I was the same way. And when I just missed it at USA's, that was open only, and that was in the biggest class I'd ever been in. Like I said, that was 24 people, and I took
Your
third.
height is
Yeah,
crazy. Your height, bro, go ahead. Your height, man, I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
yeah. And so I'm in arguably the most, if not one of the most competitive height classes. But that's not an excuse.
You are.
But I got
No,
I
you
got
are.
mine in the 35, and I would argue of all the masters classes, 35 is probably the hardest because that's when most, I mean, look at the top Olympians. You got Brandon Hendrickson, who's 30, what, 36, 37.
37, 37. Keep
You
going.
got E
I've got
Banks,
all
who's
these men.
yeah, E Banks, who's
37.
right in that same
He's
category.
37 to 38.
Yep.
Corey Morris is
Yep.
42. Sidney Pouye, he's like
Yep.
46.
Yeah.
I
Benny.
mean,
Like
uh,
you got you got some hitters that are, so it's not like, and it's not to take, like you said, it's not to take anything away from,
Bro, Ryan Terry.
yeah.
Ryan Terry's 37 or 36 years old. Like 35 is you I feel like at this point now, you tell me if I'm wrong. Like you're hitting your stride. Like you're
So
about to have
that's
the
what's
best
funny.
3 or 4 years of your career.
Leading up to Pittsburgh, my wife was like, "When are you going to be done?" And I said, "Because don't get me like I started in 2015, but I had a
Okay.
coach. I started in 2015 on and off. Now I wasn't competing every year, but I had a coach that was not as good as the coach that I have now, and there was a lot of burnt bridges. My wife was very jaded to the sport because at the time, my coach was very old school in the sense of things had to be done this way. You didn't ask any questions and you just did it. I didn't know any different, so I just followed
100%.
suit. So it took a lot of time away from my family, took a lot of time away from my wife, where the coach that I have now, I remember asking him when he first laid out my plan and he gave me cardio, I said, "Does it need to be done fasted? Can I do it?" He goes, "You have a family. I don't care when you do it, just get it done." I was like, "Oh, I can I can do that?" He goes, "Yeah, just get it done." Um,
Bro, can I interject one thing
please
right
do.
there? One of the things that gave me the most peace about this season was there wasn't really this like long conversation with me and my coach, but I said he'd up my cardio, and we did about 3 weeks, 4 weeks where it was just high for me because I'm
Mhm.
usually used to doing 300 calories to 400 calories and that being it, and we make it the adjustment. He had pushed it up to 600 or like maybe 650, and I said, "Can I do this in 2 sessions?" Because I can't get up early enough to get it done before my first. And I know you typically like it faster. He said, "Man, break it into 2 sessions, just get it done." It's like all the weight came off my
Yeah.
shoulders. Like literally, I was like, "Oh, we're good. Like we're good." So please continue. Please continue.
Yeah, and so to the point, my wife had said, when is it done?" And I remember telling her, "It's hard for me to be done when I'm just now getting better." I made a little bit of progress from 2015 to about 2019. I did like 4 shows, maybe 3, 4 shows. Um, I started with my new coach in 2020. And from 2020 or 2021. From 2021 or 22, I took about 2 years off, didn't really do anything. But in the first year and a half to 2 years I was with my new coach, I made amazing strides. And then it just exponentially kept getting better and better. And it keeps like the trajectory is doing this. And I was like, it's hard for me to stop when the trajectory is doing this. If it was
100%.
tapering and I wasn't really getting better, if I was losing, that's one thing. But it's only getting better. So I say all that just to say, I want to push it until my body starts going the opposite direction. And
Right.
not in a huge sense, like it doesn't need to fall off a cliff. But when I stop making these big strides, when I'm no longer competitive, that's when I'll bow out. It's
Yeah.
hard for
Right.
me to stop, especially as a former college athlete myself. It's hard for me to stop
Where'd you
when
play?
I'm very competitive.
Where'd
What's
you
that?
play? Where'd you play?
College baseball.
Nice, bro. I got
Yeah.
cut from the eighth grade team. They said, "Why don't you take your -5 bat and your little glove and you can take it on to the house."
But it's wild. So life circumstances obviously were a big impact, less stress. Training, did any of that change? What did your training look
Intensity.
like? What does your training typically look like? Are you a high volume? Are you a low volume, higher intensity?
So typically, well, first we assess judges' feedback.
Hmm.
We were careful not to overindulge in it. Like at some point, this is still bodybuilding, and we're trying to improve the overall physique. But the program is based typically off of what the feedback was.
Got it.
This year, my feedback was more upper chest because I'm a tall guy, which I
Yep.
literally heard. the judge at St. Pete tell Dallas Botchway he needed more upper chest. I was like,
I just watched the vlog that he put up and I saw
if
that.
if this man needs upper chest, then like it doesn't matter how much upper chest I get. You know what I'm saying?
You can never have too
Density,
much. It's like
yeah,
back. Your back can
exactly.
never be too big.
Exactly. Density primarily in the upper back.
Hmm.
My lower lats have actually come in pretty nice, but the upper back is lacking a little bit. And then, man, I've got a very thin ab wall. And my ab wall is it's not like his, but it's because you gotta be careful what you say. It's like this person and be like, bro, you think you're top five in the world? No, that's not what I'm saying. But you remember Diego Montenegro?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember how everybody's like, if he had these abs, he'd be number one in the world because his shape was so insane.
Hmm.
Um, my abs are very similar to that, where there's not those deep block. Like I
Yeah.
just so we're still gonna work for it. You know what I mean? But that's my feedback. So training is based off of that. So what we typically do is you're gonna find us landing in the 10 to 14, 12 to 16 rep range a lot. Um, I feel like that's mid volume. It's not like this insane amount. Some people who are typically doing the 4 to 6 rep range, they call that cardio. But
Hmm.
for me, that's where I've always been. I've always been in the 10 to 15 range, even with football. So that's just home to me.
Right.
And we're basically doing two, at most three top sets of everything. And then we are trying to make our failure point, like true failure point, fall in between. So if we're doing 10 to 14, fall in between that 10 to 14 rep range.
Right.
And if everything, the top sets are to failure, like, and mostly mechanical failure, like when your form just starts falling completely apart, you're done.
Right.
But when you start venturing into 15, 16, 17, and you get out of that 10 to 14 or whatever, then you can go up. If you're doing
Right.
that with good form, you can go up and weight next week. If you're trying to get 10 to 14 and you get 8 and form is good, you're still going down in weight next week. You did not accomplish what we were trying to accomplish. And my coach is strict on that. He is strict on that. I've been training with him he's the only person since I was in college I've ever let do a workout program for me,
Okay.
because I trust him that much. Even with Hart, I was like, no, I'm doing my own workout program. Right? I know what to do. I know what to do. I like how he organizes things, and I like not having to think about it because I'm thinking about so many other people's programs and what they do. I like just showing up to the gym, opening my little spreadsheet, and going to work. Right. So,
Real quick, you're in Nashville, right?
yeah,
Okay. Where are you training at?
Carbon Performance right now.
Carbon, that's right. Because I remember, so I trained at Carbon when I was there for a work thing.
Yeah.
Um, Dope spot.
You
I
see
really
my,
like.
did you see my last post? Did you see my story by any chance?
Uh-uh.
I was like, I started talking about I need to find
Oh,
a new gym.
about trying to get a free cookie.
Just any kind of like, hey, good job, you turned pro. Right? Hey, like, you know what I mean? Because all my homies that turned pro like around the same time you did, and even the next year, they're like, yeah, my gym put our picture on the wall. We got a
Yep.
free membership. Like, my boy Chris down in Florida. Champs Elysium sent him a gift card and like a congratulations thing. I literally walked into my gym and was like, hey, I just got my pro guard. And, they were like, good job, good job. I was like, I've got 2 weeks off before I start my program again. Can I get a cookie? Like, can I get an alpha cookie? They're like, nah, man. Like, have
Yeah,
a
go
good
grab one
workout.
there
I was
for
like,
99. It's all yours.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, literally, they held his hand out like 8.99. You can have it. Like, nah, man, we're good. We're
That's that.
good.
Hey,
We're good. Yeah. So
Carbon Culture, if you're watching this, take care of this man. Get
it's
this man
not
a
carbon
cookie.
culture. Carbon culture so it's weird, man.
Oh,
Carbon culture is a different gym
oh,
that actually does celebrate their athletes. Carbon performance does not, and it's fine. Put this
Carbon
out there. Put
Performance,
them on
take care of
blast.
this man,
Nah, they don't care. They're high rocks now. And
right?
what's crazy is they used to be such a big bodybuilding gym. That's why I joined the gym, right? There's a lot of guys trying to pursue their pro cards. There's a lot of people that work there that are trying to get nationally qualified. They've got a mural of Chris Bumstead on like in every gym that they have. I think he's involved with the gym kind of financially, but still, there's a huge mural. I'm like, y'all literally promote bodybuilding. Like it might be intimidating to new members. I'm like, oh. Okay. All right. All right. No, it's all good though, man. At the end of the day, I got that card though.
That you did. Now let's talk real quick. First show, because you went pro, and then it was what, like a week, 2 weeks later, or a week? It was
Yeah.
close. It was close
Yeah.
timeline.
It was we went 3 weeks later.
Three
We went
weeks
3 weeks
later.
later. Yeah.
I just want to hear, how was that experience at the pro level compared to the NPC level and compared to your national experience? Like, how did that experience
I
differ?
I'm obsessed with it, bro. Like I loved it. It was so
It's
much
a different
fun for
vibe,
me.
isn't it?
Bro, first of all, I've loved every competition that I've done. I don't think I've had one where I've been like, that was terrible. I mean, one of the best shows that I've ever taken part in was the junior nationals. And then I loved my time at North Americans. Like it was just it ran to too late. That's my only thing about North Americans because well, I'm in the
Man,
tallest class and I was the last one. But just the show, like, and I like the camaraderie, like I like the competition, and I love being on stage. So I honestly, I'm not just saying this. I haven't had a bad show, but this was different. So even Ben came up to me. Ben Quill was like,
mhm.
just chill. You're not gonna you're gonna have plenty of time to pump up. They're not gonna start the show without you. This is different than the NPC now. They're gonna make sure you're okay. Nobody's gonna be yelling at you that you need to come line up. They're gonna ask you if you're ready to line up, like within reason, right? They got to get
Yeah.
the show going. But then just kind of the overall vibe of everybody. Like you don't realize how amazing these guys look, but it's so chill. Like I
Yep.
remember like literally 3 weeks ago, like stressing trying to get my push-ups in and my little chest pump up thing and stuff, bro. Mario Stewart was over there just like and then that man was like, wow, like golly. Like that was only like three movements, bro. Like, and
Right.
it's just super chill, man. And then I think the thing that impressed me most was probably how Dallas Botchway carried himself.
Hmm.
So that was the first of three shows that he won, my first show that I
Right.
did as a pro. And this man, super chill, super humble, but super confident all at the same time. And the way I described him in one of my breakdown videos was there was no body part on him that was the craziest I've ever seen in my life. Maybe kind of the structure of his abs was really good, but there was nothing on him where I was like, with some work, dedication, and like just going after it, we can't achieve that, right? But when you take an 8 out of 10 shoulders, a 9 out of 10 chest, a 10 out of 10 waistline. Like, and you start taking all these high level things and put it all together as one package, then all of a sudden you have somebody that's damn near unbeatable, right? Right.
I
And
say that
that's
all the
what
time.
separates. It's literally like everything's just really, really, really good.
I've
Um,
told the story before, and it's something that really hit home. I was down in Miami. My coach lives in West Palm Beach, and I was out visiting him. And while I was out there, I got a hold of Brandon Hendrickson, and I said, "Hey, can we train?"
yeah.
And hooked up with him. We trained together. I sent a photo to my wife, and her first response is, "He's really not much bigger than you." And when I looked at the photo, I was like, you know what? He's not. But to your point, he's bubbly. And when you take that 9 out of 10 shoulders compared to my 7 out of 10, and you take that
Right,
10 out of 10 back
everywhere, everywhere.
compared to my 9 out of 10, and you take that 10 out of 10 chest compared to my seven, all these little pieces that are just a little bit better, just a little bit rounder, just a little bit fuller, you get a look that goes back to our original point to where, yeah, by
Best in the
myself,
world.
I look pretty damn good. But then when I stand next to him,
You're talking about the best in the world,
yep.
right? You're talking about the best in the world. It's
But it's those little pieces where not one thing is too overpowering than another, and you start putting them together and shaping that it creates the best in the world.
dude, I got to give one more dude his flowers
Yeah.
real quick. The kid or the young man, he looks young. I think he said he told me he was 29. But Brady Roberts, the guy who woke up as an amateur and then finished
Yes.
fourth, bro. So first of all, you never want to admit like that guy's gonna beat me, right? You never want to,
Right.
but I'm very realistic, bro. I call a spade a spade. Like it is what it is. When I saw him in the tallest class, I literally looked at my coach and was like, I'm glad we went ahead and went to USA's because the original plan was we are gonna do junior nats and I would have got second place.
Hmm.
He
Well, and back
he
to your point with Andre Ferguson, it all comes down to matchups.
who shows matchups, who shows up, and where he is the strongest. So we weigh, I'm 2 pounds heavier than him. Okay. This Joker, the 2 pound difference, or like is whatever, is he's still balanced. But what I have from my knee up from in my legs, he took that weight and he put it in his upper back,
Hmm.
in his upper chest, and he has brick abs. Now, remember what I told you my weaknesses were: upper
Yep.
back, upper chest, and abs. Matchups make fights, right?
Yep.
Everywhere that I'm struggling, he looks insane. Where I'm strong would be more of a good thing for a classic look, and we're not judging classic,
Mhm.
right? So kudos to that guy coming in, getting a four. Bro, he got Olympia points. He went from
Yep.
amateur to Olympia points.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild.
Last thing, and I definitely want to bring you back on. I just want to be respectable of time. I know you said you got to eat. I got my meal coming up here pretty
Bro,
soon.
on that
And I,
timeline, bro. On that
and I
timeline.
will I will definitely get you back on because I have visions for the podcast to grow this out, which I've already
Yeah.
talked to you about.
This is
People,
just the introduction. This is
yeah,
just the
we
introduction.
got some great things coming. There's going to be
Yeah.
multiple segments. I'm going to get Tommy back. We're still going to do Beyond the Bar. We're going to keep this last rep going, and then I'm going to introduce two new segments, one of which will keep this man right here coming back along with some few others.
So,
But last question I have is if you were to give advice to, let's say, your younger self back in 2022, if you were to give Justin, not 22 but 24, the
okay.
Justin that I met at Pittsburgh, what would you tell him? And this goes for any up and comers that are pursuing and on that trajectory to get their card.
I would tell myself you need to believe in yourself to the level that the people around you believe in you. Um, I've always kind of had this, I'm not sure I can, I'm not sure I can. And then when I decide I can, then it happens, right? So there was a lot of uncertainty there. Like you need to really invest in, believe in yourself, and go for it. That'd be the first thing I say. The second thing I would say is you think you're training hard. You think you're doing everything that you can do. You're not. And when you tell somebody that, the immediate thing is kind of like offended. Like, you
Hmm.
don't know. You don't know. I know. I'm you 2 years from now holding a pro card. You aren't working as hard as you think you are.
There's more in the tank.
There's more in the tank. You're leaving the gym, you're not really going to failure, you're not really pushing your body, and you're never going to get where you're trying to go unless you push it more. You've got more. Those would be the two things that I would initially start off with for sure.
I love it. Very last thing, we're going to make it real quick.
Okay.
Uh, marry, kill, love, because we're not
Okay.
going to go with the other word, but we'll go marry, kill, love. Burgers, sushi, pizza for a cheat meal.
Oh, Mary Pizza.
Okay.
Um, what was it? Mary Kill what?
Love.
Mary Pizza, love burgers, kill sushi.
Okay. Kill in a good way or kill like get it out of there?
If I got to get rid of one, I'm getting rid of sushi.
Really?
Like
Okay.
yeah, if I gotta get rid of one, it's out of here. I'll
All
eat
right.
it. But I've never even used that as a cheat meal. I've used it as a celebratory meal,
Sure.
um, but I've never even used that as a cheat meal. We
Okay.
do homemade gluten-free crust pizza.
We do too.
That's my cheat meal every week. It's the same amount of chicken, same amount of barbecue sauce. It's not even really a cheat meal.
It's
It's
really
more of
not,
like a It's just like a more of a substitute for the meals I already got.
right?
I told my coach I might go to In and Out for a cheat meal. He's like, no, no. He's like, just do the pizza.
Yeah.
Like, just do the
Ain't broke the
pizza.
one that brought you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
Justin. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm definitely going to bring you back on. I got so many more questions. We could run this out for like another 2 hours, but
Bro,
um,
I understand now how people think. They're like, I thought we were just getting warmed up. I thought we were just about to go into. I wanted to talk
right?
to you about your
I,
competition history, but
I
they
could
already
take
know
this
that.
so many more ways. So, like you said, this is just an introduction. We'll get you back on. I got a couple other people lined up, but when we get off, we'll get
Cool,
this lined up for another one.
cool.
Tell the people how they can find you. If anybody's interested in coaching,
Yeah.
where can they go to get information
All right,
and
so
just see?
kitsystems.com is my website. kitsystems.com is my website. The easiest way is just what everybody's doing now. It's Instagram. It's Kit Systems on Instagram, and you can DM me there. Always respond to that. We are launching our merch store here this week in the next day or two. It is live already. I just need to get that out to people. So we'll have hoodies, sweatshirts, tanks, all that stuff in there. I'm really excited about that. And if you are interested in coaching, please hit up DG or myself. We'd love to take care of you and get you ready for whatever you're trying to do. I do not actually do bodybuilding coaching. So if you would like bodybuilding coaching, I'll give you a reference, or DG's right there. He's a great coach. He'll get you taken care of as well. I think that's pretty much it. And I'd love to
I'll
hear
put
from
all
you. Go
I'll
ahead.
put all that in the show notes as well.
Cool.
As you guys all know, you can find me, dgrow39, on all of social media. And then any training inquiries, either send me a DM or you can catch me at nxtlevel-training.com as well as nxtleveltraining39 at gmail.com.
Brother, can you hear those dogs barking in the background?
No, it's all good. That mic's like it,
Perfect.
we're good. So, Justin, again, thank you so much for coming on. I will definitely have you back. And then I'm looking forward to bringing you on to the new segment that
So
we're getting ready to roll out. That does it for another
I'll
episode.
tell you
Oh,
this real quick.
yes.
If you keep bringing that shape and that waistline down, I'm gonna have to do a little video on you on the Instagram. Dude,
Hey, I'm
I'm
telling
excited to see you in a couple weeks, brother.
so right now, we've been doing high carb days just to hold my size. We're doing 1,200 gram high carb days. We had to actually split it. So I do two 600 gram carb days back to back. And that's just to hold my weight at 207. My stage weight for my last show was 206. So we're still
Man, this
holding.
ain't even prep for you. You're literally
Yeah.
growing into the show.
Yeah. So we're holding, right? I keep bouncing between 206 and 208. Every Sunday when I do my check-ins on Friday, but then Sunday I usually have a little bit of a weight drop because it's back-to-back off days. I get more sleep.
Hmm.
So I've been hovering between 206 and 208, so no more than 2 pounds above my stage weight. When we hit
Yeah.
about 5, 6 weeks out, that's when the hammer's going to drop, and I'll pull down to about 200.
Yeah.
It'll be a good look.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Oh, and
Awesome. Well, thank you.
I'm coming for you on those master shows, bro. I'm coming for
Hey,
you.
let's do
I
it.
don't know if
I
you
would love to
saw.
run it
I don't
with
know
you.
if you saw. I was 258 this morning with that look.
Dang.
My cap is 246. My coach was like, because I'm still on a 2 week break. My coach was like, can you slow down a little bit? I was like, yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. But yeah, my cap's 246, bro.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you again for coming on. That does it for another episode of The Last Rep, and we will catch you guys on the next one.